So I found some patterns online. I don't know if I told you about it before, but I found a kitty couch or cat sofa pattern for free, and I think it was from Lovecrafts, but I'll link it in the description below where I found it. It's really cool. And you know, the only thing I really need to get for it is like the sofa foam that you can get, which I think I'll be able to get that relatively easily if I'm lucky. If not, then I'll just have to buy some, but it's fine. But on it, it also has a pattern for a little blanket, like a little patchwork blanket to go over the back of it, which I just think is really cute. And they do have a granny square blanket already on there, but I'm thinking as long as I do blankets the same size, I can do whatever I want. It's my sofa. And, you know, can do it to match the decor, which is currently unfinished chic. But I do have this ball of yarn that has no purpose, and I found, sorry, Scott's playing with something. I found a free pattern on Hobby for, go on, Ben, you can do it. There we go, good lad. I've moved a door in a weird place, and he likes to go around it, and it's a bit tight for him. So yeah, I found another free pattern on Hobby, the website for that, and it's for a paw print blanket, so it's doing it where you leave gaps, and I'll show you as I'm going, but currently this is where we're at, because the pattern for the sofa says for the blanket to be 16 by 16 inches. But the finished pattern size for the blanket I'm making for the paw prints is telling me that the finished size is gonna be like 26 inches, smallest size. And so that's obviously gonna be too big. But if I do the same, so I thought, you know, if I just take off a few stitches, then it's fine. But then it says if you're gonna change the size, do it to 10 to, like, do it within 10 stitches, which is fine, but all their stitches end in 5s, so I don't know whether I don't know if it's supposed to end in 5 or not, but this is already too small for 16 inches, but I figured I'd just try it out and see what we end up getting, just to try out the pattern itself. I have done a foundation chain. I'm proud of myself. There is definitely bits I've messed up on, but that's where we're at. Okay, so it's pretty intuitive so far. Not that you can tell because I've messed up, but like it's just skipping stitches and then chaining the skipped stitches so far. These two are together like they are because I didn't have enough to do it properly, and I just wanted to finish it the way that it told me to finish. But you can see this one looks a bit like a scared scared thing. So it just needs 2 little holes on the next row. But I feel like once I get the hang of it, when I know what size it needs to be, I think I'm going to enjoy doing this. It helps my pattern brain. So yeah, we'll keep going. Hello. So I've frogged it back. So we're frogged back. We're now at 12 inches long, because apparently the border adds 4 inches, and I want to do the border the same size as what it says. So I don't mind the middle bit being smaller. Also, I've messed up, like, at the very beginning. Just here. And I know it's bad, because I asked my partner, who doesn't crochet, by the way, whether or not he could see where I messed up, and he pointed it out perfectly, and he even told me the reason why I'd messed up. But it was too far back, and I can't bother to redo it, so we're not. So I'm just gonna work again on getting the pattern made, and I haven't counted my stitches. Sorry, you can't see me. Haven't counted my stitches, so we're playing a little bit of a rebel game, but I also figure I can make it up as I go along. I can just do 2 paw prints if I really felt like it, but we'll try and get 3, and we'll try and do it properly. But yeah, we're not going to do what I did last time, which is shoving 2 together, because that's not going to work for me. Sorry, it's just not. If you see the light flickering, I'm watching Amara Loves Yarn. She's would you stop that? She's like my new binge watcher recently. She's making me want to buy everything that I can't afford. Row 2 done. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paw prints, and it ended with the 7th double crochet, so I think it'll work out. So I'm into row 3 again, and this is the only one, but you can see it's a little paw print. How cute is that if I do anything for contrast? There you go. Little paw print. So yeah, it's looking good. And it's really easy pattern. Like, I read the lines of it, but it's pretty self-explanatory when you've done it. So yeah. Hardest bit is having to go into the chains, but it does say on the pattern to work your chains looser so that it's easier to get your stitches in. But I'm just working them like I normally do. But yeah, that's where we're at. And I'll keep on working on it as I go along. Just something to do, just because I'm getting bored of doing my sister-in-law's cardigan. Well, not getting bored of it, but it's just granny stitch all the time, so this is something different. Just gives my brain something new to do, and my hands something new to do, so I think I'm tapped out on that project for a little bit. I'll get back on it tomorrow, but I'm still looking at it thinking, I need to get that done. Okay, so I finished off the first set of paws. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 paws on there, which is actually pretty good. And if I've done it right, yep, we've got just about 12 inches. Sorry, that's upside down for you. But it's like, there you go. Just about 12 inches. And we needed 16, but like I said, borders should add about 4 inches all around. So that's good. And we've got, it's about just over 2 inches. So I need to do 6 rows of paws. I think they were staggered differently. So I think the next row I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do it so the paws in the middle here rather than right on top of it. Which means I just need to figure out my stitches a little bit, but we should be able to get another 4. And yeah, I'll just keep on working on it as I go. But okay, 1 sec, we'll do this. Hi, stop. But I want to work on it. I want this to be like my random project that I do when I get bored of doing other things, and I'm a little bit bored of that. But I feel like I've got to a good stopping point, so yeah, I'm probably going to leave that for tonight. Take that out with me for working on whilst I'm out and about. I'm happy with that. Not bad to say I just started it randomly. So yeah, getting back onto my sister-in-law's jumper now. It's not being far. Literally not very far. Once again, I'm crocheting when I really should be sleeping. Sorry about that. I cut myself earlier on. This is where we're at with the blanket. Little cat blanket. It's looking really cute. These top ones look like smiley faces. I could just do a rows of smiley faces, couldn't I? So we are on about 7.5 inches, and I want it to be 12, so this is like half finished, this set. So yeah, I do think I'm gonna have to do six rows, but I've got 3 done, and by rows I mean rows of paws. So I've got 3 done, halfway through 4, so I've only got 2.5 left, and then I can just border it. But I'm quite enjoying it. I did this row before I went to bed last night, and then by this row, I mean this chunk. I did this chunk before I went to bed last night. I did this chunk whilst I was on the bus. But see, my issue is I get travel sick, which means that if I'm crocheting on the bus, I have to wait for the bus to stop. So red lights, bus stops, driver rests, that kind of thing. That's the only time I can do it. So I'm literally just sat there watching the scenery, watching the world go by, and then as soon as the bus comes to a stop, crochet. So I look a little bit silly, but I don't care. I enjoy it. And I managed to get an entire row of paws done, so each their own, right? I'll show you when it's closer to finished. So, I've got it to 12 inches. If I stretch it, if I block it and stretch it. So here it is. And if I find my tape measure, which I tend to chuck things around, we have, it's at like 10 inches. Okay, I can't stretch it. I was gonna try and stretch it. So I was right with the 6 rows of paws. I was just hoping that I could get away with it. But yeah, unfortunately not. I want it to be a square. Yay. Hello, so I'm talking to you during the day for a change. I've got most of this done. One sec. Nova's gonna have to model it for me. Ta-da! So I've got a lovely Nova. Now I've got these, but dude, I'm busy. I've finished off this edge and this edge, and this is raw edge, and this is raw edge. So I just need to do 3 rounds, not including this. So this is the foundation round just to build it up, and then it's front post and back post apparently. I've only done front post, back post like once, and I can't remember which way around it is, so I might have to do a bit of Googling. But if not, I'm just gonna wrangle it and do what I want. But yeah, it's getting there. The paw prints are printed, so I'm happy with it. I'll show you when we're done. I am in round 2 of the border, which is front post, back post. And I mean, I did have to YouTube because I have done it before, like I said, but it was a long time ago. I forgot what it looked like, and I did do it wrong initially. So yeah, but once you've got it, it's relatively easy. It's taken me a lot longer to get around the edge than I hoped it would, and I think I'm just bored of this colour. So I just really want this to be finished, and I'm bored of it not being finished. So I'm thinking, do I just do it as the 1 row because it said to do 2? Because it's only small. It's only a small blanket. But I wanted it to be 16 inches square, so yeah. Okay, so round 2 of the border is done. And considering I left the stitch markers in on the corners, I think I'm going to do round 3. But then that's the last round, and it's just the same. So it's just back post, front post. Don't think I'm going to be doing this again as a ribbon, but that's personal preference because it's not that fun for me to do. Here it is. It's not finished, but I have done the 2nd row, or the 3rd technically, and you can see it looks much better than this. So these 2 sides have still only got the 1, and these 2 sides have been doubled up. So I'm glad for that choice. It's still a bit stiff, so it's going to get blocked just to try and soften it up a little bit because I can kind of fold it and it's like it stays in position, she says. But yeah, it kind of stays folded, and I want it to be a bit more flowy, a bit more free. On the 3rd edge, Nova's decided this blanket is a good cat blanket, which is good because it's for him and his brother and sister. But not so good when I'm trying to make it and it's laid on the yarn itself. Look, there's the ball, the string's underneath his body, and here's the blanket. If you heard a ting, that was my tea. Before blocking. Okay, all steamed up, but there's an issue. I wanted it to be 16 inches across, and it's only 14.5, which is a lot smaller than I wanted. However, this way, it's just a tiny bit bigger. So it's relatively square. Not the size I wanted, which is a bit sad. But I'm not doing it again, nor am I adding anything extra to it, because I've had enough. It's done. I'm happy with it. Ends are weaved in, steamed. I'm not doing anything else. But yeah, I like it. I'm just taking it off the thing. One sec. There we go. I'm using the back of a one-piece pillow because it's relatively white. So yeah, that's all done. And it's much nicer now it's been blocked. And I like acrylic because you can steam block it and instantly do that. But I mean, do you know what? You could even make that as a cushion. It's cute. If you want a basic sizing, it's about 14.5 inches square. So yeah, thank you for joining me today. This took like 3 days, but I've been working on other things and I've been doing other things in the process, but this was my I'm going to do it whilst I'm doing other things project. So 3 days for a cat blanket, which is not too bad. Especially because it's a new type of crochet, and the back post, front post ones, I don't think I'm going to do that again unless the pattern calls for it and it really looks really good. But yeah, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.